Hi my favorite people, welcome to the world of fully hooded eye makeup. My name is Vera, I'm a professional makeup artist and I have fully hooded eyes. Like for real, you know what I mean? So it's not that makeup tutorial for hooded eyes that is demonstrated on non-hooded eyes. Because if you have eye shape like mine, you know the struggle is real to find such tutorials that are demonstrated on real hooded eyes. So let's begin. Because I often get questions about my lip makeup, so I'm going to show you what I did. I got a lip pencil set by Makeup Forever, 5 best-selling lip pencils in mini size, and they're about half the size of a regular pencil. And honestly, more than enough product. This set has a mix of cool tone browns, warm tones browns, and a one pink. Perfect range for me because I use these on clients and I use them for personal makeup too. And I got the whole set for $30-something, one of the best purchases I have made. And Apex Mini is a must-have for beautiful lip makeup. It defines the lips perfectly, it turns the pencil into something velvety, it has this adjusting capacity that lets you place the product exactly where you want it. On top, I applied MAC Love You Back, and I believe it discontinued, so substitute with any cool tone pink if you want the same lip makeup. As always, Carslan pressed powder for sensitive skin is a must-have, is the best powder in the world. And I'm doing something I usually do not recommend to do. I'm using a Satin eyeshadow stick. And by the end of the video, you're going to know the exact rules to break it to make this work and the brush moves that turn a risky finish into a result you actually love. Satin formulas, especially risky on mature eyes. Satin formulas catch every fine line, every texture shift, and they tend to settle into places you do not want them. So as a default, I do not recommend a satin stick for mature eye makeup, but rules can be tweaked. And a satin eyeshadow stick actually holds powder shadows really well, so it doubles as a base. I'm using matte eyeshadows from Natasha Denona, and of course I'm working with my Apex brushes. I pack the outer corner with a dark purple matte. Apex Maxi is your packer for outer corner depth. So instead of fluffy tapered brush, I highly recommend to use Apex Maxi. Because hooded eyes needs a different approach and of course precision. Then with light shades in this palette, I'm just softening the edges. So once you have lifted the upper eyelid, keeping in mind that you will have also lifting eyelash effect, you have to balance the lower eye, otherwise you will get outer corner distortion, that wavy flying bird look. So I widened the lower eye makeup. I used the satin stick as a quick base on the lower lash line. Then a little bit of dark matte on top for definition and depth. No concealer, no overblending, just enough product to balance the upper lift. The messy middle mindset shift. When you are mapping the eye shape, you have to know your end result before you start. You have to know your cleanup move. When you know that, you do not panic in the messy middle, and every makeup look has a messy middle, that moment where it looks like nothing is working. But if you know your tools and you know your golden rule, which is nothing goes below the ascending direction of the lower lash line, so you get your filter brush, which is flat definer. I'm just calling it filter brush because it's coming in the end and it stops being stressful. It becomes a game. You enjoy the process because you already know you're going to win. So initially I went a little lower than the line on purpose because I knew that at the end I was going to clean and sharpen that edge. So I'm intentionally building lower than the final shape because I want a sharp, clean, even edge. And I always recommend keeping a white eyeshadow base in your kit. White base is a must-have for every skin tone, fair to deep, because it lets you to create detail effects that elevate the whole look. So I picked up a tiny bit of white base on my angled eyeliner brush, and that brush is super precise, super detailed, and I placed it just at the outer corner. And it kind of created like a double liner effect, but I will see in the end if I want to keep it or we'll see how that works. Now the wing liner substitute. So the lashes basically will act as my wing liner, so I did not apply liner across the entire lash line. So from the highest point of my crease, where my downfall begins, I left the lash line alone, and instead I filled out the gap from the inner corner up to the highest point with a gel pen by Carslan but it doesn't matter which product. So because that area of my eye is slightly more visible and the liner there closes the gap. And then the lash structure picks up where the liner ends. And once the lashes go on, the inner corner liner and the lifted lash line read as one continuous lifted line. And so now the lashes, they look intimidating, and I already saw comments on the video where I showed them on bare eyes. Like you would never have thought they would look that good, but this is one of my favorite pairs, and I usually like to put lashes on top of a full eye of shadow and liner because that is the different artistry than placing lashes on bare eyes. And lash structuring on bare eyes is one thing, lashes on a built look is another. And so I wanted to see how these structured inclined lashes would behave on top of this look, because previously I put them underneath and they performed amazingly. I always put mascara on the top of the lashes just to even out, kind of blend them all together with my lashes. And that's it. Here's the final look. It was very effortless, seriously. It was just like boom, 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 done. But I like how it looks. I always like purple, rosy, all that color story. And let me know if you like it too and you would recreate. Love you!